Deep in space, far away from Earth, there was a small human outpost. It floated quietly near a blue gas planet. The planet had no life, no cities, no signals, just clouds and storms. It was the kind of place no one cared about. The outpost looked weak. Old metal walls, dim lights, slow movement. From a distance, it looked like it could break at any moment. And that was exactly what the aliens thought. A large alien fleet moved through space like a dark storm. Their ships were sharp, fast, and powerful. Blue lights glowed from their engines. Weapons were ready. At the front of the fleet was the command ship. Inside it, the alien commander stood tall. He looked at the human outpost on the screen. His eyes showed no fear, only pride. "So this is the human base?" he said. One of his officers nodded. "Yes, Commander. Small, weak, poor defense systems." The commander gave a small smile. "Humans are always the same," he said. "They build, but they cannot protect." Another officer spoke carefully. "Should we scan for hidden weapons?" The commander shook his head. "No need. This will be quick." He raised his hand. "Prepare to attack." Outside, the alien fleet spread out. Ships moved into position. Weapons powered up. Bright lights began to form at the tips of their cannons. Inside the human outpost, everything was quiet. Too quiet. A young human soldier sat in the control room. His hands were on the panel. He looked at the screen. His face was calm, but his eyes were focused. "Enemy ships in range," he said. Another officer stood behind him. "How many?" she asked. The soldier looked again. "Too many," he replied softly. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the alarms started. Red lights flashed across the station. A loud warning sound filled every room. "Alert! Incoming attack! Alert!" But still, no one panicked. The commander of the outpost walked into the room. He moved slowly, like he had all the time in the world. He looked at the screen. He saw the alien fleet. He did not look surprised. "Status?" he asked. "All systems ready," the officer said. "Shields?" "Low, sir." "Weapons?" "Limited." The commander nodded. "Good." The young soldier looked confused. "Sir, they are about to fire." The commander turned and looked at him. "I know," he said calmly. Outside, the alien fleet opened fire. Bright beams of energy shot through space. They hit the outpost. The first explosion shook the station. Metal screamed. Lights flickered. Inside, the walls trembled. "Direct hit!" someone shouted. More blasts followed. Fire spread in one section of the station. Smoke filled the air. The young soldier held on to his seat. "Sir, we cannot take many hits." Another explosion rocked the station even harder. A piece of the outer wall broke away and floated into space. From the outside, it looked like the outpost was already losing. The alien commander watched everything. He crossed his arms. "See," he said, "weak." His fleet continued firing. Missiles followed the lasers. Each hit tore more pieces from the station. Inside the outpost, sparks fell from the ceiling. Emergency doors began to close. The officer looked at the commander again. "Sir, should we respond?" For a moment, the commander said nothing. He simply watched. Another explosion, another shake. Then, finally, he spoke. "Wait." The officer blinked. "Wait, sir?" The commander stepped closer to the main screen. His voice was low. "Let them believe they are winning." The young soldier swallowed. "Sir, we are taking heavy damage." The commander looked at him again, and for the first time, there was a small smile on his face. "Damage is part of the plan," he said. Outside, the alien fleet moved closer. They were confident now, too confident.
"Move in," the alien commander ordered. "Finish them." Several ships rushed forward. They came closer to the station, closer than before. Inside the outpost, a new signal appeared on the screen. The young soldier saw it. His eyes widened. "Sir, they are in range." The commander nodded slowly. "Good." The officer leaned closer. "All units are ready." The commander took a deep breath. Then he asked one simple question. "Are we prepared?" The room became completely silent. Every person looked at him. Then the officer answered, "Yes, sir." The commander looked back at the burning, broken station on the screen. He watched as another alien blast hit it. Fire spread again. More damage, more destruction. To anyone watching, it looked like the end. But inside the command room, no one was afraid. The commander placed his hand on the control panel. "Send the signal," he said. The young soldier hesitated for just 1 second. Then he pressed the button. Nothing happened. No explosion. No sound. Just silence. Deep, quiet silence. Far away in space, something received that signal. Back at the battlefield, the alien ships moved even closer. They wanted to see the humans fall. They wanted to watch the last moment. The alien commander smiled again. "This is over," he said. But at that exact moment, something changed. Very small, very quiet, but very important. The human outpost was not shutting down. It was waking up. Lights flickered again, but this time they did not turn off. They turned brighter, much brighter. The young soldier looked at the screen again. His fear was gone now. Only focus remained. "Sir," he said slowly, "they took the bait." The commander nodded slowly. "Yes," he said. Outside, the alien fleet had no idea. They believed they were winning. They believed this was just a weak human base. They believed this was an easy victory. They were wrong, because what they attacked was never just an outpost. It was the beginning of something much bigger, and in a few moments, the entire galaxy would feel it.
The alien ships moved closer to the human outpost. They were confident, too confident. Some ships even slowed down just to watch the station break apart. Small pieces of metal still floated away from the last explosions. Fire burned on one side of the structure. To the aliens, it looked like victory. Inside the alien command ship, the commander stood with his arms behind his back. "End this now," he said. "Yes, Commander," his officer replied. More weapons charged. Bright energy gathered again at the front of their ships. But before they could fire, something changed. At first, it was small, so small that no one noticed. The broken human outpost stopped drifting. It became still. Then, its lights came on. Not weak lights, not damaged lights. Bright, sharp, powerful lights. The alien officer frowned. "Commander, the station is still active." The commander did not answer. He watched closely. Outside, panels on the outpost slowly moved. Metal plates that looked broken started to shift. Parts of the station opened, like something inside was waking up. Inside the human control room, the red warning lights turned off. The loud alarms stopped. Everything became calm again. The young soldier looked at his screen. His hands were steady now. "Energy levels rising," he said. The officer next to him smiled slightly. About time. The commander stood in the center of the room. "Status?" he asked. "All hidden systems are online," the officer replied. "Weapons ready." The commander nodded. "Good." Outside, the alien ships were now very close, closer than they should have been, closer than was safe. One alien pilot spoke nervously. "Commander, I think something is wrong." The alien commander finally spoke. "What do you see?" "The station, it's changing." At that moment, the human outpost came alive. Large sections of its outer walls opened wide. From inside, massive cannons slowly moved out. Long, dark, heavy weapons. Weapons that were never visible before. Weapons that were never detected. The alien fleet froze. "What is that?" one pilot shouted. Before anyone could answer, the cannons fired. A bright flash cut through space. A powerful beam hit the nearest alien ship. The ship exploded instantly. No warning, no time to react, just gone. The alien commander's eyes widened. "Shields up, move back," he shouted. But it was too late. More cannons fired, again and again. Each shot hit its target. Each shot destroyed another ship. The calm space turned into chaos. Alien ships tried to move away, but they were too close, too slow. Human fighter ships suddenly launched from hidden bays in the outpost. Small, fast, deadly ships. They flew out in groups like a swarm. Their engines burned bright as they rushed toward the alien fleet. Inside the human control room, the young soldier watched everything. "Direct hits confirmed," he said. The officer gave more orders. "All fighters, pattern 3, do not let them escape." The commander stood quietly, watching, waiting. Outside, the alien fleet was no longer organized. Ships crashed into each other. Some tried to turn, some tried to run, but the human attacks were too fast, too precise. Laser fire filled space. Explosions lit up the dark sky. One alien ship tried to escape. A human fighter followed it closely. One shot. The alien ship broke apart. Inside the alien command ship, panic began to grow. "This is not possible," one officer shouted. "They were weak. We scanned them." The commander slammed his hand on the control panel. "Silence," he yelled. He looked at the screen again. More of his ships were being destroyed. Fast, very fast. His voice became low. This was planned. One of his officers looked at him. "Commander, this was not a random outpost," he said slowly. "This was a trap." At that same moment, another blast hit one of their large ships. It exploded into fire and debris. The alien commander felt something he had not felt in a long time: fear. Back at the human outpost, everything was under control. Every move was clean. Every shot had a target. The young soldier looked at the commander. Enemy numbers dropping fast. The commander nodded. "Do not stop," he said. The officer looked at another screen. "Sir, we are receiving signals from their ships." "Messages?" the commander asked. "No, sir. Panic transmissions." The commander gave a small, cold smile. "Good." Outside, the alien fleet was breaking apart. Some ships tried to jump away, but many failed. Human fighters blocked their path. More explosions followed. The battlefield was now full of fire and broken ships. The aliens had lost control, completely. Inside the alien command ship, the commander knew the truth now. They had made a mistake, a very big mistake. He spoke slowly. "Pull back. All ships retreat." "But commander—" "Now," he shouted. The remaining ships turned away. They tried to escape, but as they moved, something else appeared on the human screens. A new signal. Far away, very far away. The young soldier saw it first. His eyes widened again. "Sir, signal confirmed." The commander stepped forward. "Location?" "Deep space, multiple contacts, very large." The officer looked at the data. Her voice became quiet. "It's them." The commander nodded slowly. "Yes," he said, "they are here." Outside, the alien fleet was still trying to escape. They believed the worst was over. They believed they could still survive. They were wrong, because this battle was only the beginning.
The human commander looked at the burning battlefield one last time. Then he gave a final order. Send Phase 2. The officer pressed the command. Far away in deep space, something massive moved. Something powerful. Something unstoppable. Back near the outpost, the remaining alien ships disappeared into the dark, running, hiding, trying to survive. But they did not know they were already too late, because the trap they entered was never meant to destroy them. It was meant to send a message. And now, that message was on its way.
Far away from the battlefield, far beyond the broken ships and burning fire, deep space was silent. No stars nearby, no planets, no signals, just darkness. But inside that darkness, something was hidden. At first, it looked like empty space. Then, slowly, lights appeared. Small lights, cold lights. 1, then 10, then hundreds. Massive shapes began to form, huge ships. Ships so large they could cover entire cities. They floated without sound, no noise, no movement, like sleeping giants. Then, they woke up. A low energy pulse moved through the fleet. Systems turned on. Engines began to glow. Weapons powered up. This was not a normal fleet. This was something else. This was humanity's secret. For many years, humans had stayed quiet. They explored space. They built colonies. They made small outposts like the one near the blue planet. To others, they looked simple, weak, peaceful. But that was only what they showed. Behind the silence, humans were watching, learning, preparing. They had seen the alien empires grow stronger. They had seen how they fought, how they destroyed weaker species, how they took planets. Humans understood one thing very clearly. War would come. And when it came, it would not be small. So humans made a choice. They would not wait to be destroyed. They would not fight to survive. They would fight to end the war before it even began. Deep inside the largest ship of the hidden fleet, a human admiral stood in a dark command room. The room was wide and silent. Large screens showed the battlefield far away, the damaged outpost, the broken alien ships, the ones trying to escape. The admiral watched everything carefully. His face showed no emotion, only focus. A voice spoke from behind him. Signal received from Outpost. The admiral did not turn. Status: "The trap worked," the officer said. "Enemy fleet damaged. Survivors are retreating." The admiral nodded slowly. "Good." Another officer stepped forward. "All units are ready, awaiting your command." The admiral looked at the stars on the screen. For a few seconds, he said nothing. Then he spoke one simple sentence: "Begin Phase 2." At once, the entire fleet responded. Energy levels increased. Engines became brighter. Massive weapons systems came online. Outside, the ships began to move. Not fast, not rushed, slow, controlled, like something that knew it could not be stopped. Back near the human outpost, the remaining alien ships were still running. Their formation was broken. Their numbers were low. Fear had replaced their pride. Inside one of the alien ships, a pilot spoke with panic. "We need to report this. The humans, this is not normal." Another voice replied, "Send the message to the homeworld, now." A signal was sent across space. Fast, desperate. Back on the alien homeworld, leaders began to receive the message. The report was simple, but shocking. Human outpost, trap, hidden weapons, heavy losses, unknown fleet detected. The alien leaders did not understand. "Unknown fleet?" one of them asked. Before they could answer, more data arrived. Images, dark shapes in space, huge ships, too many to count. The room became silent. One leader spoke slowly. "These are not outposts." Another answered, "This is a war fleet."
Back in deep space, the human fleet was now fully awake. Thousands of ships moved together, perfect formation, no confusion, no fear, only purpose. Inside the command ship, the admiral finally turned. "Set course," he said. "To where, sir?" an officer asked. The admiral looked at the screen again. Then he said it clearly. "Their home world." The officer paused for 1 second, then nodded. "Yes, sir." Coordinates were set, the entire fleet aligned. A low hum filled the ship. Energy built up around them. This was not normal travel. This was something faster, something powerful. Back near the human outpost, the human commander received a message. Phase 2 is active. He read it once, then looked outside at the battlefield. Only a few alien ships were left now, running into the darkness. He spoke quietly. "They have no idea." The young soldier looked at him. "Sir?" The commander turned slightly. "This battle was never about them," he said. The soldier frowned. Then what was it about? The commander looked back at the stars. It was about sending a signal. At that same moment, deep space lit up. The human fleet jumped. Not one ship, not 10, all of them. They disappeared in a flash of light, gone, like they were never there. Only empty space remained behind. Back near the outpost, the alien ship's sensors picked something up. A pilot looked at his screen. What was that?" Another answered. "A massive energy spike, then nothing." Where did they go? No one knew. Back on the alien homeworld, the leaders were now afraid, very afraid. More reports were coming in. The unknown fleet had disappeared. One leader spoke with a shaking voice. "Track them, find them." But it was already too late, because far across space, the human fleet appeared again. This time, above a planet, a bright planet, full of life, the alien homeworld. The sky above it suddenly filled with massive ships, thousands of them, silent, still, waiting. Inside the lead ship, the admiral stood tall. He looked down at the planet, at the cities, at the oceans, at the life below. Then he spoke one final time. "Target confirmed." Behind him, officers prepared the next command. No one smiled. No one celebrated. This was not anger. This was not revenge. This was something else. Something colder. Something final. Back near the human outpost, the commander closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them again. "It's done," he said. The young soldier looked confused. "Sir, what is done?" The commander looked at him calmly. "Everything." And far away, above the alien homeworld, the human fleet began to move.
High above the alien homeworld, space was no longer empty. It was filled. Thousands of human ships stood still in the dark sky. They covered the stars. From the surface of the planet, people looked up in fear. At first, they thought it was a storm, a strange shadow moving across the sky. But then the lights appeared. Cold, white lights, blue engine glow, long shapes too large to understand. The sky was no longer theirs. Inside the alien capital city, warning alarms began to sound, loud, sharp, endless. "Unknown fleet detected. Massive objects in orbit. Defense systems activate now." Panic spread quickly. People ran through the streets. Leaders rushed into command centers. Screens showed the same image again and again. Human ships. Too many to count. Inside the main command hall, alien leaders stood in shock. "This cannot be real," one of them said. Another spoke with fear. "They followed the signal. They found us." A third leader slammed his hand on the table. "All defense systems, fire at once." Outside, large defense cannons rose from the surface of the planet. Massive towers turned toward the sky. Energy began to build.
Missile systems opened. Fighter ships launched from hidden bases. The entire planet prepared for war. But above them, the human fleet did not move. Not yet. Inside the lead human ship, the admiral stood calmly. He watched the planet below. Bright cities, blue oceans, clouds moving slowly. Life everywhere. An officer spoke. "Enemy defenses are active." Another added, "Missile lock detected." The admiral nodded. "Hold position." The officers looked at each other for a moment. "Sir, they are preparing to attack." "I know," the admiral replied. His voice was quiet, steady. "They are afraid." Below, the alien defense systems fired. Missiles shot into the sky, hundreds of them, fast, bright, deadly. They rushed toward the human ships. At the same time, energy beams fired from the surface of the planet. Long lines of light cut through space. The attack had begun. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Impact in 3, 2, 1. The missiles reached the fleet, and then nothing. A soft flash of light appeared around the human ships. A shield, a massive shield. The missiles hit it and disappeared. No explosion, no damage, just gone. The energy beams hit next. They spread across the shield like rain on glass. No effect. The alien attack failed. Completely. Back on the planet, silence filled the command hall. That's not possible," one leader whispered. "Our strongest weapons," another said slowly, "did nothing." Fear grew stronger. Outside, more missiles were launched, more beams fired, but the result was the same. No damage, no change. Above them, the human fleet remained still, like a wall, like a final line. Inside the human command ship, the admiral watched everything. "Defense confirmed," an officer said. "All enemy attacks are ineffective." The admiral nodded. "Good." He stepped closer to the main screen. "Prepare main weapons." The room became even quieter. Officers moved quickly. Systems activated. Deep inside the ship, something powerful began to wake. A low hum filled the air. Energy levels rose fast, very fast. Outside, parts of the human ships began to change. Large sections opened. Massive weapons moved into position. Not small cannons, not simple lasers. These were something else. Long, wide, heavy. Weapons built for one purpose: total destruction. Back on the alien homeworld, the leaders saw this. Their fear turned into panic. "They are preparing to fire! Shields! Raise all shields!" Planetary shields activated. A glowing layer formed around the planet. Bright, strong, wide. It covered everything. Cities, oceans, land. Everything under one shield. Inside the command hall, one leader spoke quickly. "We can still survive this. The shield will hold." Another leader nodded. Yes, it must hold." But deep down, they were not sure. Above them, the human fleet was ready. Inside the lead human ship, the admiral stood still. "Target locked," an officer said. "All systems ready." The admiral looked at the planet one last time. Then he asked, "Any surrender signal?" The room paused. An officer checked the system. "No, sir. No communication." The admiral closed his eyes for a brief moment, then opened them again. Cold, clear, final. They had their chance. He raised his hand slowly. Every officer waited. Every system was ready. Then he gave the command. Fire. Outside, the fleet moved at once. All ships released their energy. A massive beam formed, not from one ship, from all of them. A single, focused attack. Bright beyond sight, powerful beyond measure. It shot down toward the planet, fast, silent, unstoppable. On the surface, people looked up. Some screamed, some froze, some prayed. The beam hit the shield. For a moment, the shield held. It glowed brighter. It pushed back. It tried to survive. Inside the alien command hall, hope appeared. "It's holding," someone shouted. But that hope did not last. Cracks formed in the shield, small at first, then bigger, then everywhere. The light broke through. The shield shattered like glass. The beam continued. Now, nothing stood in its way. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved. No one panicked. Inside the human command ship, no one moved.
The beam broke through the sky. It came down like a line of pure light, fast, bright, endless. After the shield shattered, nothing could stop it. Nothing. It touched the surface of the alien planet, and for 1 second, everything became silent. Then, the ground exploded. A massive wave of energy spread across the land. Cities disappeared in an instant. Tall buildings turned into dust. Metal melted. Stone broke apart. The force moved faster than sound, across oceans, across mountains, across everything. From space, the planet lit up. Bright lines of fire spread across its surface, like cracks in glass, but these cracks were glowing, burning, growing larger every second. Inside the alien capital, the command hall shook violently. The leaders fell to the ground. Screens went dark, lights flickered and died. One leader tried to stand up. What is happening?" he whispered. But he already knew. This was not an attack. This was destruction, total destruction. Outside, the sky was no longer blue. It turned white, then red, then black. The air itself burned. Ships on the surface tried to launch. Some managed to rise, but they did not get far. The energy wave caught them. They vanished in fire. Across the planet, oceans began to boil. Water turned into steam. Huge clouds formed instantly. Storms rose, but they did not matter. Nothing mattered now. The planet was breaking. From space, the human fleet watched in silence. No one spoke. No one moved. They saw the fire spread. They saw the land crack open. They saw the oceans disappear. Inside the lead ship, an officer spoke softly. "Surface destruction at 70%, increasing rapidly." Another officer added, "Core instability detected." The admiral stood still. His eyes were fixed on the planet. He did not look away. He did not react. This was expected. This was planned. Below, the cracks reached deep into the planet, very deep, into its core. And when they reached it, everything changed. For a brief moment, the planet looked whole again. Then it collapsed. A massive explosion erupted from inside. The entire planet expanded outward. Fire burst into space. Huge pieces of land broke away. The surface was torn apart. The planet could not hold itself anymore. It began to break. Slow at first, then faster, much faster. Chunks of the world drifted apart. Some burned, some exploded again. The core of the planet shined bright for one final moment. Then it was gone. All that remained was fire, debris, and dust. The alien homeworld was no more. Back near the edge of the destruction zone, a few alien ships had just arrived. They were late, too late. They stopped as they saw what was in front of them. Their home, their world, gone. One pilot spoke with a broken voice. No, this is not real." Another whispered, "Our planet, our people." No one finished the sentence. There was nothing left to say. From their view, the explosion still spread outward. Rings of fire moved through space. Debris floated everywhere. Large pieces of the planet passed slowly by, burning, silent, dead. Inside one of the ships, an officer fell to his knees. "It's over," he said. "No, it can't be over." But it was. Above the remains of the planet, the human fleet still stood, untouched, unharmed, watching. Inside the lead ship, an officer spoke again. "Target eliminated." Another said, "No life signs detected." The admiral finally moved. He took a slow breath. Then he turned away from the screen. He said, "Mission complete." His voice was calm. No anger, no pride, just a simple statement. Around him, the officers remained silent. They had just seen a world end, an entire civilization gone in minutes. Back near the outpost, the human commander received the final report. He read it quietly, then closed his eyes for a moment. The young soldier looked at him. "Sir, is it over?"
The commander opened his eyes. "Yes," he said, "it's over." The room became silent. No one spoke. They all understood. This was not just a victory. This was a message, a very clear message. Far away, the remains of the alien world continued to drift. Fire slowly faded. Dust spread into space. What was once a living planet was no more than broken pieces, cold, silent, gone. Back above the ruins of the planet, the human fleet began to move. Slowly they turned away. Their mission was done. There was no need to stay. As they prepared to leave, one last wave of energy passed through the debris. It pushed everything outward, clearing the space, erasing even the remains, like the planet had never existed. Inside the command ship, an officer asked quietly, "Sir, what about the survivors?" The admiral stopped for a moment. Then he answered, "They will remember." The officer did not ask anything more, because everyone knew what that meant. The humans did not destroy without reason, but when they did, they made sure no one would forget. And now, the galaxy had just witnessed something impossible. A single attack, a single response, and an entire world erased.
Space became quiet again. Where a planet once lived, there was now nothing. No cities, no oceans, no life. Only dust and broken pieces slowly moving in the dark. The fire was fading, the light was gone, and silence took its place. Above the empty space, the human fleet stood for a few moments longer, still, calm, like nothing had happened. Inside the lead ship, the admiral looked at the final report. Target destroyed. No life signs. Mission complete. He closed the report. Around him, officers waited. No one celebrated. No one smiled. This was not a victory to enjoy. This was something else. Something heavy. Something final. An officer stepped forward. "Sir, remaining alien ships detected." The admiral looked up. "Location." "Far from here. They stopped moving." The admiral nodded slowly. "They saw it," he said. "Yes, sir," the officer replied. "They saw everything." Far away in the cold darkness, the last alien ships floated without movement. They had escaped the first battle. They thought they were lucky. They thought they survived. But now, they were not sure what survival meant. In one of the ships, the crew sat in silence. No one spoke. No one moved. They looked at their screens, at the empty space where their home used to be. One pilot whispered, "It's gone." Another closed his eyes. All of it. Their families, their cities, their history, everything erased. A senior officer stood in the center of the room. His hands were shaking, but he tried to stay strong. "We need to regroup," he said. "We need to plan." But his voice was weak. Even he did not believe his own words. Because deep inside, they all knew the truth. There was nothing left to fight for. Back on the human command ship, the admiral gave a new order. "Open communication channel." The officers looked at him. "To who, sir?" one asked. The admiral answered simply, "All of them." The system activated. Signals spread across space, wide, strong, clear. Every alien ship received it, no matter how far. Inside the broken alien fleet, screens turned on. A single image appeared. A human, the admiral, standing still, looking directly at them. No anger, no hate, just calm eyes. The alien crews watched in silence. The admiral began to speak. His voice was clear, slow, easy to understand. You attacked the human outpost. No emotion, just truth. You believed it was weak. A pause. You believed we would fall. The alien ships remained silent. No one tried to respond. No one could. The Admiral continued. You were wrong. Another pause. Longer this time. Then he said, we did not respond with anger. We did not respond with fear. We responded with certainty. Inside the alien ships, some crew members lowered their heads. Some looked away. Some simply listened, because they had no choice. The Admiral's voice did not change. If you attack humanity, he paused again, and then finished the sentence. You will lose everything. Silence followed. Deep and heavy silence. The message ended. The screen went dark, but the words stayed. Inside every alien ship, inside every mind. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, one pilot whispered, what do we do now? No one answered, because there was no clear answer. Only one thing was certain. They would never attack humans again. Back on the human command ship, the communication channel closed. The Admiral turned away. Prepare to leave, he said. Yes, sir, the officers replied. Outside, the human fleet began to move. Slowly at first, then faster. Ships turned away from the empty space. Engines glowed brighter. One by one, they jumped into deep space and disappeared, like shadows fading into darkness. Back near the remains of the alien world, the last ships stayed behind. They watched the empty space. They remembered the fire, the destruction, the end. And they understood something very important. Humans were not weak. Humans were not slow. Humans were not easy to defeat. Humans were patient. Humans were quiet. But when pushed, they were unstoppable. Days later, across the galaxy, the story spread. From one system to the next, from one species to the next. A simple message. Do not attack humans. They do not fight small wars. They end them. In distant worlds, leaders changed their plans. Armies stepped back. Ships changed direction. Because fear had a new name. Humanity. Back on the small outpost near the blue planet, repairs had already begun. The damage was being fixed. The fire was gone. Life continued. The young soldier stood by the window, looking out into space. It was quiet again, peaceful. He spoke softly. Sir, will they come back? The commander stood beside him. He looked at the stars, then answered, No. The soldier looked at him. How do you know? The commander gave a small, calm smile. Because now they understand. The soldier nodded slowly. He looked out into space again, but this time he saw it differently. Not as empty, not as quiet, but as a place that had just learned a lesson. A hard lesson, a final lesson. And from that day on, the galaxy remembered one simple truth. Humans do not start wars, but when they end them, they make sure it is forever.